Okay, welcome back to Pathways to Practice. I'm Dr. Ronald Perry, and today we're going behind the scenes of admissions, way behind. These are all the dirty secrets you want to know. Well, hopefully, you'll get some real insight and understanding of how the admission process is. We're going to talk about in episode 8. What we're going to talk about is the anatomy of the admissions decision, what happens behind closed doors. So, if you've ever wondered what actually happens after you hit submit, where does your application go? What goes on? Well, this episode is definitely for you. You want to find out what now? How long do I have to wait? Well, we're going to peel it back. We're going to peel back what's behind the scenes. We're going to see what's behind that curtain and hopefully give you some better insight on how the final decision making is or admissions decision making is made for U.S. international dental programs. Well, we're going to walk through each stage of review, and we're going to look at the insights, the factors behind the admissions committee, how they think, what they weigh heavily. Some are obvious, obviously, like grades and all that. But some are not so much. And so let's get started. I think you're going to find this interesting. Segment 1, file review, your first impression. Well, once your application is submitted, the first step is called the file review. Here, admissions staff do a preliminary check to make sure that, hey, all your documents there, making sure everything's complete, your transcript, your TOEFL, your GPA, your IMDb scores, everything, your letters of recommendation, and your personal statement. I can tell you from our admissions committee that I personally will not look at any of the applications until the file review is complete. If your file review is incomplete or you're waiting on something, it's just going to delay the process. At this stage, missing documents or unclear records can be fatal to your candidacy. It can really delay things. This is also where standardization of metrics are tallied, your GPA, conversions, your test scores, and everything else that goes into that. So don't be fooled. Numbers alone won't get you in. However, they may keep you out if you don't have everything in. So make sure you get all the stuff in. I can't stress that enough because there's so many people that never make it to the finish line because they procrastinate or they don't get the paperwork in. So if your grades are too low, that doesn't guarantee anything either. I mean, that could be a problem. So you got to look at all the application in its entirety. This is where quantitative and qualitative parts come together. But more of the qualitative parts now are going to be dissected in the application to see if you're going to shine or if you're going to sink. And hopefully you're not going to sink. Segment 2, holistic review. The whole applicant model. I say this all the time. We really look at the person as a whole. So grades are very important. However, they're not the end all be all. We want to see that you've grown, that you're a real human, that you can actually show growth. So most programs use a holistic review model like we do. And that means that we're not just looking at what you've achieved, but how you've grown, who you are, and how you align with the mission of the school. So key questions we ask at this stage are, does this candidate have a clear understanding of dentistry in the U.S.? Have they demonstrated commitment to serving patients, especially the underserved population? Is there evidence of leadership, maturity, and resilience? And do they seem teachable, adaptable, and clinically capable? This is where your personal statement, volunteer work, letters of recommendation, work history, and all that comes into it. They carry a major weight in the decision process. We're looking for depth, not just a laundry list that you check off one by one. Segment 3, the interview. You've made it to the short list. Now, I'm going to let you in on another little secret, is that if you get down to the interview process has started way before you got the letter to come in for an interview. So once you do have the interview, the minute you step foot in the door, the interview process is on. So everything you do, how you present, how you act, how you talk, how you look around the school, all counts. So keep that in mind. You are being interviewed start to finish. So congratulations. If you've made it to the interview, you've already impressed the committee. So you have something that they see that's promising. But now it's about confirming it and expanding what we saw on paper. Because I can't tell you how many people look really good on paper, but that's why I personally demand that they come in to see us personally so I can actually see, does the paper actually meet the person? And if it's not the same, there's a problem. So the interview is a two-way conversation, okay? Programs want to see you and you want to see them. So you got to communicate and figure out if it's a good fit. Communication skills, especially in clinical contexts, are very, very important. Cultural sensitivity and emotional intelligence. Your reasoning for choosing the school, not just any school. So, why did you choose the school? What are you going to be? How are you going to be? Will the school be proud to call you a colleague? So, let me give you a pro tip: be authentic. I can't say it enough. Be authentic. If you're faking it till you make it, it's not going to work. Trust me, it's not going to work with me. It's not going to work with a lot of other admissions committees. So, don't do it. Admissions committees can tell when your answers are overly rehearsed or you lack heart. Show your humility. Show your humanity. Show your why. Segment 4, clinical assessment and the bench test. Now, this is a bone of contention for a lot of candidates. What's happening? What's the school do? Do they have a clinical bench test? Do they have a paper bench test? Do they have all different things? All schools are different, okay? So obviously you have to do your homework. You have to research behind how they test you. Some schools include a bench test, and this is another big filter. They want to see how your hands are. What you do on paper, does it actually materialize to your hands? Can they actually do the work? You've been practicing for 5 years. Does it actually reflect on that? Now, keep in mind, it's not perfection, but we want to see if there's growth, if there's adaptability and capability and a promise of what you could possibly become. So it's not just about whether your crown prep is perfect. It's about time management. It's talking about hand skills. It's how you act under pressure. These are all important factors that help to lead into everything. It's also about cleanliness, how organized you are, your ability to take feedback, and how you take that feedback. Remember, the minute your foot stepped into the building, you are being interviewed. It all counts. So don't trivialize it. It has meaning. A calm, focused presence under pressure goes a long way. I can also tell you that many candidates get an interview, and because they are lacking certain things, I let them know what it is. And then they have the fortune to actually get a second interview next cycle. What I'm always amazed at is that they never, ever, no, I won't say all of them, but some have actually come back and not taken the recommendations and wonder why they're not being accepted for the second time. If you get hit by lightning twice and you don't take advantage of it, you got a problem. So make sure you heed the advice of what's going on. Segment 5, final committee review, the vote. This is where it all comes together. This is where all that information is put together from your personal interviews, whether you've had virtual interviews, my personal interview, the bench test, everything comes together. And now we look at you as a whole person. Your grades, everything matters. So now here's where it gets very, very interesting. After interviews and evaluations are complete, each applicant is discussed, often by multiple faculty members and staff members who have reviewed your file and met with you. You're not a number, you're a story. And stories spark discussions. Now, here at this university, we not only have faculty members, and we have staff members, and we have students, because everyone's interested in your success and the success of this particular program and the programs of other schools. So some typical discussion points that come up: the applicant has a lower scores, but outstanding clinical experience and passion. That'll be discussed. Do they show promise? Do they show adaptability? How do they handle stress? Are they articulate? Would they get along with the population? Are they a team player? They've shown exceptional growth through hardship. And what have they learned from that? What is their why? They don't seem to fully understand dentistry in the U.S. Maybe you think you have, or you've listened to other podcasts or other individuals that don't know what they're talking about, and You don't understand what the dentistry is like in the United States. And it's different in different parts of the country, too. Would they thrive here and contribute to our community? And the bottom line is, would we be proud to call them a graduate from the university? That's what we want to know. Would you be a good fit? And it's not just about us, it's about you. Are you a good fit for us? Is the university a good fit for you? So you want to make sure it goes both ways. Eventually, a vote is taken, offers are extended, wait lists are created, and some candidates are not selected. Not because they're not good enough, but because of limited spots and tough decisions. Trust me, there are so many candidates that I wish I could pick more of you. I can't pick you all. I only have a limited amount of spots, and we try to do it. But I can tell you this, there are many candidates that get acceptances and get on wait lists. And once they get acceptances, they don't finalize all their paperwork and they lose their acceptances. So make sure you follow through to the very end. If it's your dream, make sure you follow it all the way. Know what the rules are. Know what is expected of you. Segment 6. What you can do to align with the process. What does this all mean for you? What does it mean about getting into a dental school? Okay. How do you align your application so that you stick out? So what truly matters? This is what you really want to know. How can I make it better? Because there's many applicants that have very good resumes, very good backgrounds, very good clinical experience. But who are you? How are you as a person, as a whole person, better qualified or better aligned? That's the better way of saying it. How are you better aligned with the university values and missions? Be complete and be accurate. Don't give some reason to question your credibility. Don't lie on your application. Trust me, I've seen it. I've sniffed it out. I've called it out. I do not like it, and admissions people hate it. So don't do it. Don't lie. Be accurate. Be honest. Explain it. Be upfront telling your story. Don't hide behind it. Tell a compelling story. Use your statement and experiences to build a narrative that's personal and purpose-driven. Be authentic. Know the mission of the school. If you don't know the mission of the school, you haven't done your homework. Tailor your application to show alignment. Be prepared to talk about future of your dentist, of U.S. dentists, of your future. Be ready to understand that and where you're going to go. Not only I got to get into a dental school. I got to get into a dental school. Got to get into a dental school, and then it's I got to graduate. I got to graduate. I got to graduate. It's where do you go from there? What's the ultimate goal? What do you want to do? And B, use appropriate terminology. Understand the healthcare landscape. To communicate clearly. Understand the changing how dentistry is evolving, not only through technology, but with DSOs and everything else that's happening. Treat every step as a chance to reinforce your value. From your email tone to your interview attire, it all counts. Remember, the first step in that door, you are being interviewed. Don't forget it. So, admissions may feel like a black box, but hopefully you got a little bit of more light into the box now and it's a little bit grayer. And at least you can kind of see what's inside it, or you kind of know what's going on behind the scenes. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being purposeful, prepared, and professional. Thanks for joining me on Pathways to Practice. In our next episode, we're going to dive into lots of other things, but hopefully financial aid, scholarships, and creative strategies. So for funding for dental education in the U.S., until then, keep your vision clear, your passion strong. I'm Dr. Ronald Perry, and I'm wishing you success on your journey to U.S. dentistry. Have a great day.